Hey everybody, we decided to break the game recap into two different videos today. You're currently watching the positive and negative segment of that, so if you want to see the period by period breakdown of this game, I'm going to put that down in the description for you and put it up in the top right corner as well for you. But with that said, let me know in the comments down below what you thought the Bolts did well and what they didn't do well in this game. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Go Bolts.
A bit of a cause concern before we get to our recurring segment. Steven Stamkos did not play, as we mentioned, in the second or the third period. He mentioned in the post game that it was a dream come true to come back and play in this game and score a goal. However, I don't know, and I'd love to get your guys' opinion on this. Do you preserve him and not play him on Friday, knowing that there's a back-to-back on Saturday?
We actually got a question about this. I was covering the game tonight, and they said they hope they're kind of managing Stamkos, right? Like we saw that in basketball with LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. But so it's like the same thing. What they're trying to, I feel like they're going to start doing with Stamkos now. Like either they're going to sit him like they did tonight, or they're just not going to play him and hope they kind of continue the momentum and the presence that he has in the locker room.
Yeah, the bottom line here is, I don't know what his actual percentage is behind the scenes. That goes down to the athletic trainers and John Cooper knowing, if this really is a serious injury, if he was actually fine and they were just managing him, whatever it may be. I think if he's okay to go, I think you put him in. He obviously was a huge help for this team in this game. I mean, he scored a goal. I mean, he was really, really good. He looked like he was playing really well in that beginning of that period, and we didn't see anything specifically that could have hurt him or made it to where he had to go on the bench. Obviously, something did. We don't know what it is. So, it's hard to speculate because we don't know the severity of the injury. We don't know what might have caused the injury. So, I think if he's okay to go, I think you put him in there absolutely. If he's still 95% now, yeah, maybe you hold him out for a game because we are leading 2-1 now. So again, a lot of it depends on how the injury is and what the injury is, and that's something that's got to be determined by John Cooper and the training staff and Stamkos himself, obviously.
Yeah, as Cooper said, I believe it was at the beginning of Game 2 or in the Game 2 pregame press conference. A lot of people are going to making this decision, including Stamkos himself. So I think it is something that they're going to monitor. They're going to get back to us on Friday, whether or not he's going to play in Game 4. And, if the Lightning win, great. Without Stamkos, great. If they lose without Stamkos, shows how valuable he is to the team, and hopefully he'll be ready for Saturday. And if they win and he's ready for Saturday, would love to see him raise that cup on Saturday. So, a big win overall. Phil, I know you mentioned that we had some questions on the Bay Bolts account. Is there anything else that we had?
No, they just kind of asked about Stamkos. They wanted to make sure that he's okay, and what like we talked about earlier with the roster management. But before we move on and talk about the next segment, I have a couple. We're talking about injuries. A couple of injuries did happen against the Stars tonight too. Radulov was kind of going in and out, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but Guryanov looks like he got hit in the mouth with a puck. So they're going to have to do some watching out too.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate for them, especially in the Stanley Cup Finals. Again, I don't know the severity of these injuries as I don't follow the Stars as closely, obviously, as I do the Lightning, but we'll see. We'll see how it affects them. We'll see if some of their guys are going to be able to step up, like a lot of Lightning players have for our injury situation. But it will be interesting to see who ends up in the lineup, who ends up out. I don't think there's going to be a major shakeups. Because I think towards the end of this game, these injuries happen, and I think for the most part, these guys are okay. But again, I don't know anything. I'm not 100% on that because obviously I'm not following what's going on with them as closely.
Yeah, they deal with injuries, and I gotta say, every team deals with injuries. There's no way that I should feel sympathy for the Dallas Stars because Stamkos has been out, and Point has been out, and Kucherov was out, and I don't feel bad for them. And I know that's a callous thing to say, but it's the same thing as I'm a giant baseball fan. I love my Tampa Bay Rays. The fact that they won the AL East title today is great. Should I feel bad because the Yankees had a bunch of injuries too? No, I don't. We took advantage of the situation. That's what you have to do. You have to play the team in front of you. And I think the Lightning, as well as the Rays, have done that very, very well in this series and in these playoffs. So I get that Stars fans may be very concerned with the fact that Radulov and Guryanov are currently out, and the fact that I believe Rupe Hint missed the game. Uh, it's not great for them. But at the same time, I can't feel any sympathy for them because next man up. And as we enter our final segment, our home stretch, once again, we're going to do our positives and negatives from this game. A lot of positives to take away from, not a lot of negatives, which is always a good thing. But Phil, we're going to start out with you. What are your positives and negatives?
Well, my positive is going to be the obvious one. Seeing Steven Stamkos out on the ice was great. I mean, even though it was for 5 shifts, he got a goal, and him just being there was a huge presence for the Lightning, and it kept them motivated, and it provided a huge spark to our team. And now we're up in the series. I think a lot of it has to do with him coming back. And the negative, unfortunately, is going to be the dumb penalties. Shattenkirk took one. We mentioned that. As well as Sergachev. I mean, I know Sergachev's still learning. He has a few years behind him now. But at the same time, you can't be taking these dumb penalties, especially in the playoffs. It's going to bite you.
I'm going to start with my negative, actually, so I can end on a positive note. My negative is the 2 points that I kind of mentioned before, where the Lightning seemed like they let their foot off the gas. You can't do that in the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, luckily, the Stars didn't make a little bit of a comeback here and potentially tie this game because we had so many goals to begin with. But this is something that they have got to fix. And even though I did mention, too, credit to the Lightning, they did a good job defensively, not letting the Stars getting those high danger chances. Got to be careful with this because especially when it comes down to it, when the Stars, season is on the line, it's not going to be like that. They're going to capitalize on those chances. So they cannot take their foot off the gas. They got to make sure they're playing a full 60 minutes. As for my positive, I'm going with Andre Palat. You could have gone with anybody on that line, but I think Andre Palat's been a huge help for this team. He kind of like Vasi even, he gets overshadowed by some of these other guys like Hedman and Cooch and Point, but he's played so well, and he's done such a good job at filling in for Stamkos on that power play, which, by the way, I hope to see Stamkos back on that power play soon. He's obviously not completely 110%, which is why he wasn't on that power play unit, but Palat's been great. He's really stepped up, and I think he's kind of getting overshadowed a little bit, and he was great tonight again, got another goal. So really great to see him excelling really a lot.
And very, very good points from both of you. For my negative, once again, I'm gonna do what Jake did. I'm gonna end on a positive because this was such a great game because we won. My negative has to be the third, I should say, the second pairing of McDonough and Shattenkirk. And I thought McDonough had a decent game, so this mostly relies on Kevin Shattenkirk. I was not a fan today. I thought he was very lackadaisical. I thought he was lapsing in judgment. Both of the goals that were scored with him on the ice. He was directly responsible for that second goal. I don't think I blame him necessarily. He's trying to clear the puck out, and it just took a funny bounce. But he was on the ice. He was the last one to touch the puck before that puck went in the back of the net. So I would like to see something better from him. I talked about earlier about how he has had a rough 2020 Stanley Cup Finals. It's great that he's putting in the offense, but the defense needs to be better. As far as the positives, I am going to go with the Swedish God himself, the man that is going to break Tyler Johnson's goal record, Victor Hedman. I've mentioned this on a couple of shows, I believe. If not, I've mentioned this in private circles with both Phil and Jake, that I think Victor Hedman is going to break Tyler Johnson's goal record because of how good he's been in these playoffs, both offensively and defensively. He's not put up the assist like we're used to, which is a little weird to say. But, 10 goals, I can't complain. He's one of 3 Lightning members with 10 goals. And again, I think he's going to break the record first. To do that, he's going to have to score some more goals because he's only at 10 right now. But Hedman had a great game, and I think that he is among the rest of those top tier guys when it comes to the Conn Smythe. So that is it for positives and negatives. Do you guys have anything else before we wrap this up?
Nope. Last thing I want to say too is this is a huge win for us. Obviously, go up 2-1. Got to keep your foot on the gas though. This is a very far from over. The Stars are going to come out again with fire, as any team would when you're down in the series. So keep pushing. Big win for the Bolts. We're getting that much closer. 2 more wins to go.
Let's take it. Let's cherish it. But first, before we do that, we got to win Game 4. And in order to win Game 4, you have to win Game 3. So coming into Friday's game, you will see the Lightning up 2-1, looking to get that 3-1 series lead. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Michael F., joined with Philip Wunderlich and Jake Ricker. Don't be afraid to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, feel free to follow us at Bay_Bolt on Twitter for all your news, notes, and game recaps every single game. Thank you guys once again for watching if you made it to the end of this video, and we will see you hopefully on Friday night with the Lightning up 3-1 in their series. Take care, guys.
The Bolts.